Tonight's video features deep web horror stories. If you've ever listened to the deep web stories, you know how twisted and gnarled and disturbing these stories can be. Viewer discretion is advised. Number 1. I went on the deep web last night for the first time. My good friend Seth told me about it and the possibilities that it possesses. We've been best friends since we were in elementary school. We're now in our mid-20s. I've never been the most computer-savvy guy by any stretch of the imagination. Seth told me about downloading the Tor browser and other necessary search tools to protect my identity and my well-being. I've never been a religious guy, but bet your ass after this experience, I would be praying to any god that would hear my call for help. Seth and I are longtime drug users. We're more of the partying type. We still hold down solid paying jobs and are relatively successful. I'm a huge fan of coke and ecstasy. Obviously, one cannot purchase these products readily at the local Walmart. Seth said his pal bought with Bitcoin on the deep web. Said it was super simple and user-friendly. When he received the package in the mail, it was hidden inside of a CD case. Very discreet and on the hush-hush. That sounded like a great setup and exchange to me. I thought, screw it, let's roll the dice and hit the order button. I assumed when I ordered my goods that it would be hassle-free as well. I couldn't have been more wrong. Fuck. I couldn't have been more wrong, guys. I'm so terrified and strung out right now. The day came and I heard a quiet, soft knock on my back door. I thought, what? Why wouldn't a delivery man or woman use the front entry to knock? I walked cautiously to the back door, which has a large window with a curtain just above the door handle. I saw the shadowy figure of what looked like a large man. I hesitated for a brief moment in time before I would come into the line of sight of this would-be delivery person. All falls silent, and I hear a deep voice say, "Brian, Brian, are you going to answer the door?" How did he know my name? Holy shit. What's going on? I take a deep breath and close my eyes for a moment to collect myself. I open my eyes and the man is gone. My backyard is 1/4 of an acre of fenced-in grass and trees. I open the door and scan the property, and there's no trace of the man. I have no clue where he could have gone in such a short time. I look down at the back door welcome mat, and I see a small envelope with my address on it. I snatch it up and rush back in the house and lock the door. I run through my place to make sure every window and door are locked. Within 1 minute's time, I'm back downstairs in the kitchen about to open this mystery package. I open the envelope and find what I expected. My order of X and a small baggie of the white nature. I sigh with relief. Then I examine things closer. There's a tiny crumpled up post-it note inside the bag of pills. My heart is beating a mile a minute at this point, and the note says, "Welcome, Brian. Hope you enjoy your taste, my boy. You now work for us." That is all the note says. You now work for us. What the fuck does that mean? I call my buddy Seth up and tell him about what has gone down. I tell him I want to go to the police, and he reminds me of the nature of this deal. You know, man, it going down on the deep web. By this time, it's 8 p.m. He thinks I'm overreacting right now, and that these dealers are probably just messing with me. Of course I'm overreacting, fool. These complete strangers know my full name and address, and I committed a crime buying illegal drugs as it stands. Seth told me he would be at my place in the next couple hours to see how the night unfolds. Seth is ex-military and served 2 tours in Iraq. He has a permit to carry. He said he was going to bring over 2 9mm Glock pistols and his AR-15. Better to be safe than sorry in today's world. It's been a few hours since I opened the packet from this strange man. Like I said, I have a large piece of land that my house is on. My parents have rented it to me at a fair rate, and I have no roommates, so I'm totally alone. My closest neighbors are nearly half a mile south of my place, down a private gravel road. The forest is so dense around here, sound doesn't travel. Period. I'm freaking out right now. I'm in my living room, and I just saw a flash of light through my window curtains. As a vehicle pulls up and kills their headlights about 50 yards from my driveway. I'm so scared right now, guys. As I type this out, I have a loaded pump shotgun by my side, but I'm so scared. I know Seth would never kill his lights. Seth would barrel down the gravel road and speed into the driveway. As I look through a crease in my window blinds, I see a faint outline of 3 dark figures getting out of a late model sedan. Please send good thoughts or prayers my way, guys. I need a miracle right now. I will repost again if I make it through this judgment night. Story number 2. This was back before Google. Web pages were, for the most part, still very basic HTML with JavaScript. Hardly anyone used CSS. Only discussion boards and some banking sites had anything approaching mature front-end, back-end combinations. Early net, real deep web story, not just one about illicit activities online. I was browsing random blogs, geo sites, and the like, just going from link to link. Eventually I came upon an odd page. It appeared to be random thoughts from different people, but for the time it was very well designed. The messages seemed to be cryptic in nature, like several people trying to pass secret notes. I started through the source. Hidden in the comments of a JavaScript were various IP addresses. I gathered all of the IPs in a text file and began enumerating. Some were routers with banners messages. The default Cisco credentials from back in the day worked on most of them, but I didn't poke around. A few of the IPs were web servers with little to nothing on them, mostly Apache or Linux or some BSD. I finally came upon a web server with a huge directory of HTML files. The HTML files appeared to be records of a psychologist or similar mental health professionals would keep. The images were faxes, apparently of both military and medical nature. As I browsed from a subdirectory back to the parent, at the top of this new HTML file named something like 1 hello there HTML, the timestamp was from right that minute. I opened it, and in plain text was the message, "We see you." No quotes, all lowercase. About 15 seconds later, the server dropped. Story number 3. I'll assume you all know about the deep web. Well, what you've heard is true. It's not a great place. While some people are there to score weed or firearms, or even out of sheer curiosity, others, well, they're obviously not up to anything good. But I'm not here to talk about those sickos. I'm here to talk about what lies beyond that point, the more cryptic and unexplainable part of the internet, the part that nobody really is supposed to see. There was an infographic that cropped up a while ago, not sure when. The 8 levels of the internet. Maybe you've seen it. As interesting as it was completely bunk. I'm sorry, but polymeric fossil goal derivation means nothing. And the Primarch system? I guess somebody's a fan of Warhammer. No, there's no quantum mechanics involved here. However, that doesn't mean it was an easy place to find. No, I'm not going to tell you how to get there. It's unlikely that you'd even be able to, even if I did. I'm not tooting my own horn. I just didn't have a life outside of this. I was warned, of course. Everybody told me I wasn't going to like what I saw. that I wouldn't even understand it. Now I'm passing off that warning to you. Don't try to look for this. There's no official name for this place, or at least I haven't seen one. There were rumors, however. These ranged from an Illuminati chat room to a virtual holding cell for an experimental AI gone rogue. In reality, it's a lot worse. After a long and painful process of breaking down firewalls, encryptions, solving bizarre philosophical riddles, and following hidden links, I was finally directed to a blank page with one line of text and a text box underneath. Quid quaeris, Latin for, what do you seek? I remember feeling surprised, but in retrospect, I didn't know what I was expecting. I'll admit I was a bit stumped here, partly because I didn't know the answer to that question. I had no objective. I just wanted to see if I could do it. I tried some generic answers at first. I typed in the truth and enlightenment. You know, Matrix shit. Nothing happened. I tried a bunch of answers, but none of them worked. I was getting frustrated at this point. Maybe this was a gag page. Maybe I really hadn't figured out anything. If only. I tried something off the wall. Not sure how this came to me or why it would work, but I typed in, what also seeks me. Now that I think about it, this thing might have been an AI. To my surprise, the page went blank, like fully blank. I waited. After 5 minutes, I was directed to what looked like a forum. No, not even that. It was more basic. Just a list of links over a brownish-yellow background. The links themselves were indecipherable, just seemingly random sequences of characters, symbols, and letters. A lot of them I had never even seen before. It almost looked like an alien language. Obviously just a code I didn't understand. At this point, expectations were off the wall. Each link was a shot in the dark. I clicked on the first one. It loaded up a live feed of what seemed to be Paris catacombs. I watched for a while, but it was ultimately uneventful. I moved on to the next link. It was a shaky video in a dark setting, but I could make out men in tactical gear. They were in a house, opening doors and sweeping each room. Eventually they kicked down one door to reveal a creature, tall and humanoid with scaly skin. It was gnawing on a dismembered arm. They tried shooting at it, but it escaped out the window. The video stopped there. Well, I was floored. What the hell was this? It looked too real to be unreleased film footage. I was officially intrigued. Maybe this was worth the months of headaches and bloodshot eyes after all. I couldn't stop now. I started working down the list of links. With each click, everything got more and more bizarre, more disturbing. I stumbled upon a document called the Paragon Project, detailing trials of human experimentation that would lead to superhuman levels of strength and durability. It was an apparent success. Looked official, too. There were essays on space-time anomalies, glitches in reality, and apparent pictures of alternate dimensions. There were detailed explanations regarding Area 51, the Bermuda Triangle, assassinations, disappearances, and the true natures of the Holy Grail. One of the more upsetting ones was the document referring to world-ending bomb, a nuke that is 720,000 times stronger than the one dropped on Hiroshima. I don't want to know why we need that. I found contingency plans for different kinds of apocalypses: nuclear winter, biological weapons, viral outbreak. Some more peculiar ones were called the Marianas Trench Abnormality, the bluntly labeled strange man on the 15th floor, and one simply referred to as blackout. Recovered logs of skinwalker hunting expeditions, 9/11 transcripts from residents of a town in Texas that went missing in 1977, and even the journals that belonged to the people involved in the Dilatov Pass incident. They didn't go insane because of the snow. I spent hours on there looking through pages and pages of things I felt like I wasn't supposed to see. I came across a trailer to a silent film made back in 1910. One that apparently made people claw their eyes out after watching that nearly derailed the whole industry. There was a live stream of a hooded man sitting in front of the camera, head crouched down. He eventually lifted his head. Even though he had no mouth, a deep, guttural hello came through my speakers. Somehow I knew it came from him. I didn't stick around for that. There were obscure sets of step-by-step guides that involved things like cutting off your own limbs and sewing on corpses, performing religious incantations in the middle of the Siberian forest, and going to coordinate things that apparently housed captive fallen angels. It was unclear what any of these were supposed to achieve. There were also a 20-second long clip titled, "The Futility of Living." I didn't watch it. That's when I realized there was no way even the highest form of organized government had full control of this. One of the scariest things about this whole experience was that I didn't find an end to the list, no matter how far down I scrolled. I think I had a meltdown and passed out eventually, because I woke up on my floor in the middle of the night. I looked at my computer screen to see looped helicopter footage of a massive, crab-like creature tearing apart a coastal island. I clicked off of it. I just sat there for the longest time. I couldn't comprehend what I was seeing, and I don't think I really wanted to. Now, I'm not really sure why I kept going. My brain was screaming for me to take my computer out to the lawn and smash it into pieces. But of course, I didn't. I noticed something I hadn't before. A small message at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. I don't know if it was always there or not. It was hard to read, so I had to squint. More Latin, translated into, "Are you satisfied?" There were two options underneath it, yes and no. Now I knew the answer to this question. Hell no, I wasn't satisfied. I was horrified, scarred for life. But I should have clicked on yes. If I just clicked on yes, it would have taken me out of that godforsaken place. Back to comfort and sanity. Even right now, I can't tell you why I clicked on no. But once I did, the page seemed to refresh. It was still the same basic setup, except there were only 4 links. This time, there were no recognizable numbers or characters. Hell, it didn't look like anything that could have come from this world. Just a collection of extremely crude symbols that didn't give off any sense of pattern or direction. I clicked on the first link. After 20 seconds, I slammed my computer shut. I can't describe to you what I saw. All I know is what I wasn't supposed to see. Nobody should ever see something like this. It's not only that it didn't make any sense. I can't tell you why it didn't. I couldn't begin to grasp the images I was seeing. It wasn't graphic or anything. Not like that. I just couldn't recognize anything. I could make out things moving, but not in a way any creature on Earth has ever moved. Colors that I'd never seen before. Just thinking about it gives me a splitting headache. This is my best attempt at visualizing it. We have 3 dimensions here on Earth. We can move forwards, backwards, left, right, 72.4 degrees southwest. These things weren't restricted to that. I can't explain it any further. All I know is that I didn't want to watch one more second. I don't think I would have been able to. I left my room for the first time in a while. I was planning to leave my house. I needed fresh air. To take a walk or something. Hell, I was thinking about running a marathon in the middle of the night just to get my mind off that shit for a few hours. I was putting on my jacket when I heard a knock at the door. I stopped dead in my tracks. Obviously, I wasn't opening it. About a minute and 5 more sets of knocks came before somebody spoke up. "Open up. We know what you did, but we're not here to hurt you. We just want to talk." The tone wasn't threatening. Eventually, I obliged. I opened up my door to see 2 tall, slim men in suits. They smiled at me. "Can we come in?" I still don't know how they found me. I thought for sure that I was off the grid. We sat down on the couch. I guess I was just waiting for answers at that point. One of them looked at me and said, "What were you looking for?" "I don't know, but I'm not going back," I responded. He smiled again. like this is what he wanted to hear. The other one piped up, "Who do you work for?" His tone was a bit more aggressive. I just shook my head. Look, I didn't know what I was getting into. I wasn't looking for anything. They just stared at me for a while. I'm not going to tell anybody. Trust me. They finally responded. "We're not worried about that. Doubt anybody would believe you." Another smile. Somehow it felt genuine. We just wanted to know what your priorities were. In retrospect, that was a very strange question. "Just do us a favor and we'll leave." I perked up. "Give us the device you accessed it." I didn't ask any questions. I ran upstairs and basically tossed them my laptop. They both smirked at me one last time before heading for the door. Just as they were about to leave, one of them turned back. "I don't think you need to be told, but don't try this again. And don't show anybody else how to get there either. We'll know." I didn't ask who they were. I'm not sure I would have wanted to know. It's been a week now. I don't go on the internet so much anymore. After this, I'm going to try and forget, to try and not think about it at all. I've started having horrific nightmares. Been seeing a therapist for that, but I don't think it's helping. Anyways, I'm not going to let this consume the rest of my life. The thing is, I'm afraid this might not be possible. There are some things we aren't supposed to know about, probably for our own safety and sanity. Don't try and seek them out. It's better that way. However, it might be too late for me. Thank you for watching, guys. Please be sure to like, comment, share this video, and subscribe to the Sinful Society. If you guys want to send me any of your true scary stories, my email is in the info box below. It's thesinfulsavant@gmail.com. I will be sure to feature your story in an upcoming video. And like I always say, stay sinful.